Everyone, in this video, I'm going to show you how to factor quadratic trinomials where a is not equal to 1 using the trial and error method. So let's just jump right into it. So again, the coefficient of our square term is not 1. So when that happens and you're trying to factor it, what you'll need to do is find the factors of that number. So the numbers that multiply to be 8. So we have 8 times 1, 4 times 2. And then after that, you need to find factors that multiply to be your C term, so your constant back here. Now, we're not going to worry about signs at this point. We're not going to worry about signs till our very last step. I actually just consider all of these positive numbers for now, all of my terms positive, until the very end. Then I'll take into account the negative signs. Okay, so numbers are multiplied to be 27, so 27 times 1 and 3 times 9. So I'm going to write down 2 sets of parentheses because we're going to create 2 binomials that will, when we FOIL them to check, that will give us, that result will give us our original quadratic. So I need to fill these 2 sets of parentheses with a pair of numbers from this set and a pair of numbers from this set. They need to be paired up, placed into here so that I can, along with the correct signs, so that I can get, if I were to FOIL them, I would get the original quadratic. So how do we do that? Well, there's several combinations. This pair of numbers could be paired up to this one or this one. This pair of numbers could be paired up to this one and this one. And even with that matching, there's 2 different ways you can write those. So there's a lot of combinations here. And the more you do, the quicker picking a pair of numbers from each column will become easier and quicker. It's actually a really fun way to factor a trinomial is with the trial and error method. Okay, so when you're choosing a pair from here and a pair from here, you're trying to get your B term. Now, right now, again, I'm not worried about signs. The way I do it, I just consider everything positive until the very last step. I do take into account to what the actual signs are. So I'm going to try to get a 6. So let's just try this pair of numbers with this pair of numbers and see if we can get 6. So what you do is you take the first factor from one of the pairs and multiply it to the first factor from the other pair. So 27 times 8, I believe, is 216. So we have 216. So just remember that. And then we multiply the 2 remaining factors together. So 1 times 1. So we have the numbers 216 and 1. Can I combine 216 and 1 in any way to get 6? For example, 216 plus 1 or 216 minus 1. Will that get me 6? No, it won't. Well, now let's try another combination. Let's do 8 times 1. Okay, because last time I multiplied 8 and 27 together. I'm going to multiply 8 and 1 together. So 8 times 1 is 8. And the 2 remaining factors get multiplied. 1 times 27 is 27. So I have 8 and 27. Can I add 8 with 27 or subtract 8 from 27 to get 6? Now, 27 minus 8 is not 6. 27 plus 8 is not 6. So this pair of numbers and this pair of numbers will not work. So that kind of thinking is what you have to do with all of these different combinations. Again, it becomes much quicker to where once you do a few of them, you can see it within a couple of seconds. So let's try this pair of numbers with this pair. Let's try, I'll just go ahead and do this. 4 times 9. 4 times 9 is 36. 2 times 3 is 6. 36 plus 6 or 36 minus 6, that won't get us 6. Well, let's try multiplying 4 times 3, which is 12, and 2 times 9 is 18. So now we have the numbers 18 and 12. 18 plus 12 is not 6, but 18 minus 12 is 6. So this pair and this pair are the numbers that you want to place in here. These are the ones that will work, these two pairs of numbers. All right, so how do you place them? So these two numbers will always be placed in the first spot in each set of parentheses. They're going to be our first terms in each binomial. It doesn't matter how you place them. I could have put 2a here and 4a here, or I could put 4a and 2a. It doesn't matter how you place these. Now I need to place these, and these go in the last spot. They're the last term in each binomial, and it does matter how you place them. So remember I got that 18 and that 12. So I want to get that 18 here as well and the 12. So I know that my outside terms multiply together to get a term in when I FOIL, and my inside terms multiply together to get another term in the polynomial that I'll get once I FOIL. So I'm going to put the 3 here to get the 12, because outside terms multiply together to get one of the terms that I'm going to have to simplify that polynomial. And I placed the 3 here to get my 12, and then so the 9 will just have to go here, right? And of course, my inside terms multiply together, so that's 18a. Okay, so I have 12a and 18a. So again, 18a minus 12 is 6. Okay, so far, so good. Now I need to be concerned about our signs. This is the last step. So for the signs, what you do is you go to your C term and you say, okay, I need to multiply two numbers that are going to get me a negative number. So if I'm going to multiply two numbers to get a negative sign that will result in a negative sign, one sign needs to be a positive sign, one sign needs to be a negative sign. So one has to be plus, one has to be minus. Now it just depends, where do we put them? So we chose our signs, a plus and a minus. Now where do we place them? So that's determined by b. b is negative 6. So b is negative 6. So if I want my numbers to combine to add up to be negative 6, I want my bigger product to be negative and my smaller to be positive. Because that's negative 18a's plus 12a's will get me negative 6a's. So we're done. This is it. This is the factor. These are the factors of this trinomial. So this is this written in factored form. So you're done. But let's go ahead and FOIL to check. See if we did it right. See if we picked everything right, placed everything right. So let's try it. So our first terms in each binomial multiply to get the first term in our trinomial. So that's 4a times 8a. 4a times 2a is 8a squared. And then the outside terms multiply together. 4a plus 3 to get one of my terms. So 4a times positive 3 is 12a. And then my inside terms all multiply together to get another term. That's 18a. And then my last terms multiply together. Negative 9 times positive 3 is negative 27 to get my C term. So we need to simplify this. Combine these like terms. 12a's minus 18a's will get me negative 6a's. And then I have minus 27. So when I FOILed this and simplified it, I got my original quadratic. So that means you factored this correctly. So these two binomials are the factors of your quadratic. Okay, so once you get to here, you're done. This is just a check. Now, if you check and you didn't get your original quadratic, then either you chose the wrong pairs of numbers, or you maybe just placed them wrong, or chose the wrong signs, placed the wrong signs. There's a lot of ways you can mess up here. But the whole method is really a lot of fun. It's a lot of playing with the numbers. To me, that's fun. And yeah, just like the name says, trial and error. If you make a mistake, you just have to try again. But the more you do, the quicker you will get and the better you'll get. All right, let's try another one. Okay, so 12, let's see, 12 times 1, 4 times 3, 2 times 6. So all these numbers multiply to get 12. Numbers that multiply to get 5 or 5 times 1. Again, at this point in time, I'm not worried about signs. I actually ignore them and just treat everything as positive numbers. I don't bring the signs into the actual signs of the numbers into account until the last step. Okay, that's just how I do it. All right, so I'm going to write down 2 sets of parentheses. Okay, so one of these pairs of numbers needs to combine with this pair. It's a little easier on this one because we don't have more than one pair to choose from. So this is the only pair we can choose from, but one of these pairs will have to combine with this pair to get 4. Okay, so I need a 4. Let's look at this pair with this pair. So let's try this. 2 times 5 is 10. 6 times 1 is 6. So I have the numbers 10 and 6. 10 plus 6 is not 4, but 10 minus 6, that's definitely 4. So these two pairs of numbers are the numbers I'm going to place into these 2 sets of parentheses to get my quadratic back once I FOIL them. All right, so these two go first in each. They're in each binomial. They're the first term in each binomial, and these two go last. So it doesn't matter how I place these. I could place these either way, 6, 2, 2, 6. It does matter how I place these. So I want to get that 10. So I know I'm going to put 5 here because I know my outside terms will multiply to get a term. So that I'm going to have to add it to my inside term so that I can get that middle term in my quadratic. So I got to put this 5 here because those two multiply, outside multiply to get a term. And so the 1 will go here because if it's not here, then it's going to go here. That'll get me 6a. Okay, last step is choosing our signs and placing them. I need a multiply to get a negative 5. So the only two signs I can multiply to get a negative number is plus and minus, right? And they need to be different, 1 plus, 1 minus. So where do we place them? So I've chosen them, now where do I place them? Well, I need to add to get a 4a, a positive 4 plus 4. So I want my bigger product to be the plus and my smaller product to be the minus, because that gets me plus 10a minus 6a's are 4a's. And 2a times 6a is 12a squared, negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. So everything's done correctly. And you can FOIL it all out to check. I'll go ahead and do that for this one. So again, at this point, you're done. So you can see how quickly that goes. This point, I'm just checking. So first, outside, inside, and last. So this is 12a squared. 10a's minus 6a's, that's simplified. We get, by my terms there, we get 4a and minus 5. Okay, so we got our original quadratic. So again, that would make these two binomials the factors of our quadratic. All right, let's do another one. Numbers that multiply to be 16. Numbers that multiply to be 15. Okay, no two sets of parentheses. And I'm going to get a 43. Let's look here and here. 16 times 3 is 48. 1 times 5 is 5. 48 plus 5 won't get us 43, but 48 minus 5 will get us 43. So these go first. Doesn't matter how you place them. These go last. It doesn't matter how you place them. I want to get the 48, so I'm going to put 3 here. That's 48. I want to get the 5, so I'll put, of course, 5 has to go in the other spot. So it's 5. 5 in. All right, so now I need to get a negative, multiply to get a negative 15. So one sign needs to be plus, one sign needs to be positive. Those need to add to be positive 43. So I'm going to put the plus sign here and the minus sign here because this will get me, so yeah, 16n times positive 3 is positive 48n, right? And negative 5 times n is negative 5n, which is 48n's minus 5n's, which is 43. And, you know, this is 16n squared, and this is minus 15, these two. So then again, this is a 43n. So we just FOIL this, and this is just our check. But we are done right here. Okay, this is where we're finished. All right, so this, these are the factors. And of course, if you FOIL it and you don't get the original quadratic, then you either chose the wrong numbers, chose the wrong signs, or maybe you chose everything correctly, but you placed them incorrectly. And we just have to do it again. All right, 12 is 12 times 1, 4 times 3, 2 times 6, 20, 20 times 1, 2 times 10, and 4 times 5. So I want to get a 43. 12 times 4 is 48. 1 times 5 is 5. 48 minus a 5 is 43. So I place these first, right? It doesn't matter how you place them. These go last. It matters how you place them. I want a 48 and a 5. So I'll put 4 here to get 48. I'll put 5 here to get 5. Okay, last. Now I'm going to worry about signs. So I need two numbers that multiply to be a negative 20. So I need plus and minus, but they add to be negative 43. So I want my bigger product to have a minus sign and my smallest to have a plus, because that will get me my negative 48n, right? Positive 12n times negative 4 is negative 48n. Positive 5 times 5n is 5n. So negative 48 n's plus 5 n's are negative 43 n's. 12n times n is 12n squared. Positive 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. So this is this quadratic in factored form. Okay. All right, let's try this one. 4 times 1, and 2 times 2, 3 times 2, 6 times 1. Okay, so I need to get a 1. I know the coefficient is really negative 1, but at this point in time, I just think of everything as positive until the last step, again, like I've said before. So I need to get a 1. So let's see, 4 times 3 is 12, 1 times 2 is 2, 12 plus 2, 12 minus 2 is not 1, 4 times 2 is 8, 1 times 3 is 3, 8 plus 3, 8 minus 3 will never get me 1, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4, 6 plus 2, 6 plus 4, 6 minus 4 won't get me 1, 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 1 is 2, 12 plus 2, 12 minus 2 is not 1. So it looks like I cannot factor this quadratic using integers. I can't factor it over the integers. So what we can say it's not factorable, irreducible, but you'll hear a lot of the time the word prime. Okay, so it's prime, we can't factor this. And that's it. So yeah, this is how they're all done. Any quadratic that has a not equal to 1, this is how you do the trial and error method. You first write down factors of your a term, the coefficient of your square term. You write down factors of your C. I don't worry about signs at all. I just look at them as really positives until my last step. Then I take into account their actual signs. So I pick a pair from here and pair from here so that they're placed into these two binomials. What I'm trying to do is get the B term. That's what I'm trying to do that's what I'm thinking about when I pick a pair from here and here. I try to get that 43 in this case. And the way you go about it is one factor from here gets multiplied to one factor from here. The other two factors get multiplied. You add or subtract those results. If that doesn't work, then switch it up. Do the other two factors together. And then the remaining factors, do it again, add or subtract those results. So you do that until you get your 43. And so by multiplying 12 times 4 together and 1 times 5, so 48 and 5, 48 minus 5 got us to 43. So these two pairs worked. These always get placed in the first spot of each binomial. It doesn't matter how you place them. Just got to put them there. N could go here, 12 could go here, it doesn't matter. These get placed last. It does matter. I want to get that 48, so I put the 4 here because my outside terms multiply together to get a term. And then, of course, it means the 5 has to go here. Of course, our inside terms multiply together to get a term in the polynomial that we're going to form when we FOIL. So, so now we're here. Okay, we've chosen our numbers and we've placed them. So then the very last thing is you now need to take into account the signs. So we are actually wanting to multiply two numbers to get a negative 20. So if I'm going to multiply two numbers to get a negative number, one sign needs to be plus, one needs to be a negative. Okay, so one needs to be plus, one needs to be negative. When I chose them, I wasn't sure where they went. So where do I place them? That's determined by the B term. It's negative 43. So if I want to add my outside, if I want to combine my outside numbers and my inside numbers, I need to place, so I'm going to need to place the negative sign with my bigger product. So it's negative 48n and my plus sign with my smaller one, still 5n. So that's negative 48n's plus 5n, so it's negative 43. And then 12n times n is 12n squared, positive 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. So that's it. That was how we did this one. That is how you do all of them. And yes, there is a bit of playing with the numbers and the signs, choosing them and placing them. There is a lot of room for error. You could definitely mess up at a lot of different steps along the way, but it's fun. And I think the process is really fun. Playing with the numbers, to me, it's a lot of fun. And you get better at it. You do. As you do more, as you practice more, it just becomes, it's a very quick method. It's a very quick technique on factoring quadratics where a is not 1. All right, guys, that is all for now. I really hope that helped. And feel free to check out my other videos, and I'll talk to you on another video. Thanks, guys. Bye.